Look at that intro. You gotta love it. Look at who we got with us tonight. I am so happy that we got the boys. We're back together. Look at this. I'm grinning from ear to ear.
Let's try not to blow it up again, okay, Steve-O? I mean,
Mav. It's Mav.
This is what I mean.
Jeez. Can't go live for a second without Sebi blowing it up.
Well, I mean, if you're going to go big, you might as well go big and then go home.
That's what I'm saying. You got to do
Mav.
it.
Sorry.
That's okay.
There's not a chance in hell.
Sorry.
I've known you for 2 decades. I'm going to call you Mav.
You got to. You have to. Please.
There's no way I'm going to remember that. There's just no way.
I was telling myself all day today, don't call him
his
Mav.
Name.
Call him Mav. Within, 3 seconds?
3 seconds.
Out the window.
That's it. That's all there was.
Okay.
What are you going to do?
So, for all of you, all the person that's been listening to me for the past 2 weeks, struggle through this on my own.
Well, I was the person. So
you were the person. You and Mike Hers were the person. We got somebody watching. There is a person watching, and it's not us three.
Oh yeah.
So it's somebody, which is
Joe.
great. Do you think it's Joe?
Yeah.
Well, he could always show up in the chats. But this is episode number 3 of the Toxic Fandom podcast. This name was picked and chosen by our very own Mike Guida, who is joining us at the bottom of the screen there. You can say your name. It's fine. We just can't say my name.
Why? How does that? We have the same job.
No, we don't. No, we don't. I'm a fighter pilot. Lest you forget. Do you know all the Facebook pages and Instagram pages that I'm running are named Pete Mitchell? All the names are Pete Mitchell.
Which is such a bad idea. But
no, it's not.
All right.
No, it's not. I'm incognito. Ooh, we got 3 watchers. 3 watchers. Why
wouldn't you record this instead of doing it live?
Because I don't have time to edit these things. We're going live, baby. Okay. And I promote it as live. I want people to interact with us. That's the whole point of this. I want to interact with people.
All
right. So
I'm sending a bunch of invites, so hopefully we'll get a few more people in there.
All right. So at the bottom of the screen, we got Mike, one of my best friends. On the top
for today. See how this goes.
For today. On the top right-hand corner, you got Sebi, my other best friend. We're just missing one best friend. And he's being a little bit of a bitch. If he's listening out there, I could send you a link right now, Joe.
He remembers how the last time this ended.
I think that's what the problem is. I think that's why he's not joining us. And he doesn't want to be a part of my downfall, my ultimate downfall. But why not? Why not be part of that? I want him to be part of my ultimate downfall.
I remember the last time you burnt this all down. 240 episodes into a show that shall not be named, like Voldemort, and you burnt it to the ground.
Here, whatever. Let fresh start.
I was at the mall shopping and got those panicked texts. I think I got fired because of the podcast.
Quick, delete everything.
Burn it all. Everything.
Burn it all.
I don't know you. You don't know me. I never want to talk to you again.
You know what sucks too? The computer that all of the episodes are on, I can't turn on anymore. The anus.
Why can't turn on? Oh yeah, right.
It won't turn on. It won't turn on. It just spins. I just get the spinny thing. And I dare not bring it to the Geek Squad. They'll never be the same if they get into that thing. So anyway, to say the least, we got some chemistry. These 3 guys got some chemistry there. So tonight there are 2 reunions happening tonight, right? There's the reunion of this podcast in a
this is the first time on a new podcast. Don't go try to find the one that almost got Mav killed.
Well, you can't go find it because there's nothing to find. It's been wiped. So we're starting new. We're like rising from the ashes like a phoenix. What is that noise? That's Sebi, you got things going on out there? That's the city. That there is city noises.
Yeah, I got
That's right. But anyway,
Dominican guy revving his
Honda Accord.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have 2 reunions. We have this reunion that we're calling the Toxic Fandom, which I love this name, Mike. Kudos to you for getting this name. And I can't believe it was available in most spots. In most places.
You know what? I thought for sure it would have been taken, especially the last couple of weeks, because of Dak.
I figured this out months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I think like everybody, like a lot of Star Wars fans were really like tearing it down, and fans of that show were calling Star Wars fans very toxic.
Yeah, I think that's what kind of first inspired me to come up with the idea. Was like, I forget, it had to be a Star Wars or maybe one of the Marvel movies, like post Endgame, when they're
Yeah.
like, oh, the problem is the toxic fans, and I'm like, no, it's not. You know, it'd be fun to like do it from that point of view. Like, I've been a fan of most of this stuff longer than anyone who's writing it's been alive, and to be like, oh, you're the problem. Like, how am I the problem?
Yeah.
Like, I've never understood that,
but we got lucky, and we made this. We got the name like 2 years ago, and then we just let it sit there for a long time.
Yeah.
Which that might have been a good thing too, because I can definitely see people trying to get a name like that or like this for their shows.
Yeah.
And the second reunion, which is amazing, is going to be the reunion of one of our favorite bands, Oasis, which is going to be the main topic of tonight's. But if you know how we run our show, we have very, very little time about our main topic and a whole bunch of time talking about stuff that you didn't tune in for. But usually that's
our
the best
therapy
part.
session.
You know, if you know about the show that we didn't do before that no one ever saw and doesn't exist, then you know all about this one.
Dude, I tried to go back onto Facebook and onto other platforms to kind of connect with our old listeners, and I reached
listener.
I reached about 15 of them. A lot of them got back to me and were very excited to hear that you guys were coming back on, and I'm super excited too. One thing that we always did, and this was Joe's job, but it's falling onto Mike's shoulders now. We used to do a thing called News with Joe, and it was the G.I. Joe theme, which I still have. I gotta try to see if I can fish that out of the bowels of the anus. But for those of you who don't know, the anus was the computer that I used to use to record the previous podcast that shall not be named. Oh, we lost a listener. To record the last podcast. It was an Asus computer that constantly froze and died on us, so we called it the anus. But we had a jingle that was the G.I. Joe theme, and it was News with Joe. So now it's gonna be News with Mike. So Mike, what do you have on the docket? Yeah, just for today? All right. Well, we'll
this
is
definitely Joe's job.
Well, Joe's got to come on and do it then.
I guess.
Oh, subscribe and hit that bell. Don't want to forget that. We have to say that. You have to say it. Subscribe, hit the bell. We need likes. Tell your friends. Tell your friend to come watch us and listen to us. But go ahead, Mike. You're up.
I guess the first news kind of happened today was the passing of a legend.
Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor.
James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, passed away today, 93 years young.
Dang. He was the voice of Darth Vader. He was in
Mufasa.
Field of Dreams. He was
Mufasa.
So
name your favorite movie of his, not Star Wars.
Oh, easy. Field of Dreams.
I probably Field of Dreams.
Yeah. I was gonna say Sandlot for me.
Ooh, that's a good one too.
He's only in it for a little bit though.
Exactly. Yeah. One of my favorite things, and every time I think of him, I see this in my mind, is when he's talking about Babe Ruth, and he just does this.
Calls him Henry, right? Or
and then he does this little thing with his head. He's like, and he just shakes his head really quickly, and he has a big smile on his face. And every time I think of James Earl Jones, I see that image in my mind. Such a great actor and such a distinguished, recognizable, iconic voice.
The voice, like just an unbelievable voice. His list of movies is just goes on and on. Coming to America, like that's another great one he was in.
He was in a lot of the Jack Ryan movies with Harrison Ford.
Yeah, he played the president. Patriot Game he was in, right?
Yeah. Patriot Game. What was the other one? Clear and Present Danger.
Yeah, he was always like the president or the head of the CIA or something like that in those. Oh, he's a great actor, great voice. It's really sad. Especially with like the new Mufasa movie coming out,
Yes.
Yeah.
and hopefully more Star Wars at some point. I guess they'll just cut
Well, are
his
they
voice.
gonna
I don't know.
just use AI to take his everything that he's ever said in life and just use AI to keep voicing Vader for eternity?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is
Will they
someone
even
going to get paid by that? Is his family going to get paid?
I have no idea how those
I don't
contracts
know.
work.
Because he did the last time he voiced
Look at this guy.
Vader.
Nice, right? I pay for this.
Voice Vader was for Rogue One, and you could hear when he was talking to I forgot what the character's name was, but the voice didn't sound quite right. They had to dub his voice and put more bass in it because he'd lost a lot of the bass in his voice as he got older.
Well,
So yeah,
yeah. I mean, let the bias hit the floor. Our segment for when a legend unfortunately hits the floor. And
yeah, it's in no way derogatory. We do it out of love. We do it out of pure
giant
love.
legend.
Yeah.
All right. Next, Seb brought this to my attention yesterday. They have greenlit a sequel, it seems, to the Goonies, which you did not seem excited about.
Yeah, I think it's called The Curse of One-Eyed Willie.
Yeah,
it's on the screen.
That's what I saw.
On this show that we didn't do years ago that doesn't exist, we had a segment once where we came up with it was like we would write or pitch a prequel or a sequel, and then I pitched a prequel to the Goonies, where you see it's just a pirate movie, and then at the end, the pirates get trapped in the cave, blah, 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 and then you find out that it's One-Eyed Willie, and then it's a prequel to like the Goonies. And I like you guys were like, "Oh, that sounds like a great idea." But I would love to see something like that, like a prequel, and show how One-Eyed Willie stole and when he was a pirate and everything. But I think it's going to be about the main characters 40 years later with their kids in Astoria and how their lives have.
A curse from the treasure, right? Like that's what I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I downloaded this movie years ago. Wrong movie. Different, totally different. One-Eyed.
Yeah.
Whoo.
Yeah.
That was on
How
the
many listeners did we lose now?
Well, we gained 2. We just gained 2 listeners.
Who's
Back in
there?
the old day, on that old podcast, it would be a cricket sound. But oh well.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. I just showed my kids this movie, and the original. Alana absolutely loved it. She loves that they curse in it. It makes her think that she can curse.
Yeah.
I showed it to mine, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, and it scared the hell out of them at first, and then we came to it again a couple of years later.
Really?
Yeah, because like they murder people. The Fratellis murder people, and the Fratellis are super scary.
Oh yeah, that's
movie.
true. Yeah, yeah.
And Sloth is like at the beginning you think he's a monster, right?
He's
a monster.
Yeah. But
so many young actors who became big stars and Oscar winners.
Samwise Gamgee.
Yeah, and
Right?
then
He was in
Data.
this, right? Sean Astin.
Yeah,
Data just won an Oscar, right?
He just won an Oscar last year.
Like Star Trek Data?
No. The Data, the character. The little Asian kid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, his name was Data, and he won for
Mr. Jones, that kid.
Yeah, Short Round.
Yeah. There you go. I only know him as Short Round.
What was the one he did?
It was like a time travel or like a multiverse movie or something, right?
No, it was a Korean film, right? That won Best Picture.
Yeah, it had to deal with like the multiverse.
I didn't see it, so
yeah, it had to deal with something like that. Yeah,
but yeah, I'm excited about it. I would love to see the Goonies again. I'm probably gonna end up hating it, but
yeah,
Well,
hopefully, I think Spielberg's involved again.
He produced the first one.
He wrote and produced it. I thought he directed it, but I was wrong about that.
Sorry.
But he did write and produce it.
I thought the first one was written by Christopher Columbus. But whatever. I would like this. There's 0 chance they're going to get it right, or 1% chance they're going to get it right. But on that 1% chance, I'm holding out hope, because everything they bring back, they're so terrible.
Did you ever see the alternate versions of the movie, or like when it was on Channel 11? There's versions of the movie where in the beginning, Andy, the jock, like runs into Mouth and Samwise Gamgee in like a supermarket or like a deli, and they he shoves Chunk into like an ice cream freezer, and then in that same version, when they get to the pirate ship, a giant octopus attacks them.
I would assume I've seen all of those, because everything I watched was like a Channel 11 whatever it was, WPIX when we were kids.
WPIX.
Yeah, I actually I couldn't figure out why I saw so many more movies as a kid than my kids, because every Saturday, if you were home on a rainy Saturday, you get Predator, Goonies, and
Rambo.
Top Gun all on a Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Back to back to back, all TV edited, so no one cared if you were watching it.
Yeah,
right?
Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, I saw all of those movies edited as a kid, and I think not having that, you just don't it has to be an appointment now to I'm going to put this on so you can watch it.
Yeah.
Whereas then it's whatever was on 11, no, it's halfway through Die Hard, great, and I would just watch it again. And I think that you lose something that way. I saw a lot of movies that way as a kid. I'm sure I saw Goonies that way, all edited up, and not even didn't know.
I listened to a guy named Shadiversity, another podcaster, and he got fed up with his kid being on YouTube and watching nonsense all day long. So he took YouTube off TV and just gave his kids a box of VHS tapes and said, you can watch any of these as much as you want. And that's how they got into Batman 89 and Ghostbusters and, Indiana Jones and the kids. Absolutely. And it wasn't just VHSs. It was DVDs and Blu-rays, but it was all approved by him. And he's watch as much as this as you want. He gave him 40, 50 different things and said, go nuts. And, they sit down and watch it at family time now. And he
cool.
Got them off YouTube. Yeah. My kids are just glued to YouTube.
I made a list of I don't know, the 200 films. Myself and my wife sat down and did a list 200 films that we thought our kids should see. And we've been slowly over the years knocking them all out. I can't think of one that my kids weren't that was really good. I'm glad we watched it. They loved them all, because that stuff was so good. And some of it is so iconic and transcends so well. But you have to search it out.
Yeah.
Or
it's hard for my son to be open-minded to watching something new, especially something that I pick. But a few weeks ago, I sat him down and I got him to watch Twister.
Oh, nice.
He loved it. He loved it so much. He wanted to go see Twisters in the theaters. And then last night I got him to watch Beetlejuice. I've tried 4 times to get him to watch Beetlejuice, and finally last night he watched it. He loved it. He thought it was hilarious. He wants to be one of the football players for Halloween. So
you know what it is too? I was away with my kids last week, 2 weeks ago, when we were camping, and I was trying to fit all the crap back into the car, and in exasperation I said, we're gonna need a bigger boat, right? A line from Jaws. And then my youngest one came to me last week and he's I was talking to one of my friends, and her dad always quotes movies too, and he's all quote the same movies, and me and my friends don't have that, because they don't have common experience that they've all seen. I'll quote 30 movies during the course of a week, you know what I mean? And she's oh, my dad does that too. I'm because we all saw the same movies and shared the same experiences. Yeah. They don't have that, because they all watch different YouTube channels and different things on Insta. None of them watch the same stuff.
They have their own version of that though. My kids come home saying skibbity toilet Riz,
but it's pop culture nonsense
that's
not going to last.
Yeah.
Right?
It'll last. It'll last for them.
It'll last for them, maybe.
Yeah, it'll last for them. My kids will remember
You
that.
think when they're 30, they're gonna say like "skibbity toilet" as a
They'll say
reference
it.
to something.
They'll say it as they're joking around because that's how they say it now. They say it now as a joke. They don't. It doesn't mean
guess.
anything. You know.
Every time I pick up a bat, do you think every time when you were a kid, like after you saw Ninja Turtles for the first time or whatever, every time you walked,
Jose Canseco bat.
Exactly. You pay money for this. Every time I see a bat next to Joe Tambini, I say this, and then he's like, then he hits me. But like nobody ever thought that was going to be a thing, but to idiots like me and Joe, it is a thing.
Yeah, and like when I hear someone else reference something, like I immediately know, like, oh, I have something I can connect with that person with, right? Like we share a common interest because we both reference Seinfeld, or we both reference The Simpsons. You know what I mean? I was at a concert recently, and it was a song I didn't know, and I did the get to the like for Homer Simpson when he sees the Who, he's like get to the whatever part.
Yeah,
and I did that, and so like the guy next to me was like The Simpsons. I'm like, yeah, and like I don't see my kids doing that, and I have high schoolers, and like I don't see them having that common connection with their friends. They all sit and just stare at phones.
My son is a huge Ghostbusters fan, so every time he hears the word Jello, he goes, "There's always room for Jello," and then like his cousins like look at him like he's an idiot, and I'm like, "Yeah, you get it."
Yeah, but again, Ghostbusters, like that's another one. Like I this summer found myself saying, when someone asks you if you're a god, right, the answer is always yes. Like you just are you the gatekeeper? Like I don't know. I miss having those common things, and I don't know what it's going to do to the next generation. They don't have this stuff they love, and like when I introduce to my kids, they then get the references and they try to make them with their friends. And I'm like, what's wrong with you? Like what are you talking about? So you mentioned Beetlejuice. Did either of you see it?
I haven't seen it yet.
I'm going to see it on Friday
soon. Yeah,
it made all the monies. It made $110 million in the U.S. its opening weekend.
Holy cow!
Which is bigger than the original movie opened, and I think they said it made $35 million worldwide. So like almost $150 million. That's a lot of money for Beetlejuice. Because I like the original Beetlejuice, but I wouldn't be pushed to go see it in the movie theater. But yeah, I'm not in the majority apparently.
I'm not a humongous fan of this movie, but my wife is. I don't like Tim Burton, to be honest with you. I'm not a big Tim Burton fan. So this movie does nothing for me. But my wife is big into this movie.
Big Tim Burton fan, isn't she? She loves
she loves Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
She loves Edward Scissorhands. Edward Scissorhands. Seinfeld reference. See? We just did it again.
I'm gonna be Bob for Halloween.
Are you?
Yeah. This the shrunken head guy.
Yeah, the shrunken head, yeah. But my wife is very excited for this movie.
Yeah, I think if you're like a Tim Burton fan, like this is right, and like people love him, like love his stuff.
Yeah.
And from what I heard, they did it right. Like they made it like the first movie. They didn't try to change it and make it for a modern audience. You know,
well, that could explain why it made money.
Yeah.
Right. Like it seems to be like when they want to reinvent them, the new people are not drawn to it, and the people who've seen it, like, this isn't what I'm used to. So why would I want to see this? And like, I seem like when they're kind of true to what it was, I go, oh, I want to show this to my kids, and I want to re-experience that feeling. But it's when they reinvent them or like give them a modern spin. I'm like, just kick rocks. I have no time for it.
Yeah.
Another movie being remade, Happy Gilmore 2. They just started production today.
Was that the golf one?
Yes.
Yeah. That was the first one, right? Or was Billy Madison before that?
I don't remember what they were the first two to make. He did stuff before that, like Cabin Boy, I think, and stuff before that. But those are the two that kind of blew him up, or at least blew him up in our circles.
Yeah.
That
was him becoming a movie star.
Yeah, he tweeted.
He was a big star on SNL, and then once those came out, that's when he left the show.
I loved that's one of the ones I showed my kids, Happy Gilmore, and they loved it. They thought it was so great. He posted on Instagram today the picture of the jersey, the Brewers jersey, I think it was. and it said,
Boston
"It
Bruins.
ain't over. The way I see it, we've only just begun," which is the quote from the first movie.
Speaking of quotes, you used to quote Billy Madison all the time when we were in
Oh
high
yeah,
school.
I still do it.
Stop looking at me, Swan.
If I see a swan, I can't not do it, no matter where I am and who I'm with.
I think you did it on your wedding day.
And yeah, and I can't tell you how many times I've walked up to someone pregnant and been like, "Feel them kicks, gonna be a soccer player." Like, I loved those movies. Then they're so stupid. Oh, and Jesus, the end of Billy Madison. Nowhere in those incoherent ramblings did you come anywhere close to a coherent thought. May God have mercy on your soul. Everyone in this room is dumber for having listened to it.
I say that every time at work was when a manager says something stupid at the end of when everybody's walking away. I'm like, everybody is now dumber for listening to that stupid. Well,
may God have mercy on your soul. Oh, such a good line. I'm excited to see it. Again, like, I don't think he's made a good movie in quite some time, but I would be interested. Not a good comedy, right? I think like Uncut Gems was amazing.
Yeah.
What has he made since? Has he made anything since? As far
He
as
made a lot
comedies
of
go?
like Netflix, straight
His
Netflix
stuff
ones.
is bad. I love, and I have a friend, Josie, who hates these movies, but I love the grown-up movies.
Oh, I hate them so much. I hate them so much.
It's so bad.
I like grown-ups. I like the original grown-ups.
If it's on, I'm watching it.
It's not good.
I like it.
I don't care. It's just stupid dumbness, but I
and I like the one with I like the one where Kevin James is the biology teacher with Selma Hayek. I think that has to be a Adam.
It's probably
Sandler
Happy
movie, right?
Madison, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, Grown Ups just feels like you're watching people have more fun than the audience. Like, clearly when they're making it, they had which is great. Like,
yeah,
we could make a movie. Yes, I would definitely make a movie, and screw whoever's watching it. That's your problem. But God, it's just, they are having so much more fun than you are.
I love it. I could watch those movies. I could just see how much fun I could. That's us.
Yes. Yeah. But yeah, I guess, like, when I'm trying to bring up his IMDb of what he's done recently, but his early stuff is great. The new stuff,
Waterboy was good.
Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, The Wedding Singer, The Waterboy, Big Daddy, Little Nicky. Those are all great. His company produced Joe Dirt. I didn't even know that. But then it gets Mr. Deeds is okay, but recently he's had some real rough ones.
Did he do Click? Click was fun.
Yeah.
I didn't see
that. Was
that
all right.
The murder mystery ones on Netflix with him and Jennifer Aniston, where like they're the schlubby couple that gets tied up in European murder mysteries. Those aren't good. The Wrong Missy, Hubie Halloween.
Yeah, I saw that one. That one's okay.
Yeah,
he plays like a version of a Waterboy guy.
Yeah, Pixels. That was bad.
Oh, that was bad. Yeah,
it was all right. It was fine.
Blended.
That I never seen.
Oh, that's the one when they go to like a African resort. Yeah. I've seen that one. That one's okay. It has some moments.
The early stuff's so much better. Like, in my opinion, his early stuff's so much better. But
I love.
Are we doing How We Wasting Time?
We are, but you forgot something.
I got more stuff.
Oh, you do? Okay. What else you got?
I'm sorry. I have just two more. I sent the Joker trailer. Did you guys watch it?
Nope.
No.
Seeing the Joker 2.
You're not interested?
No, I didn't like the first one.
I'm more interested in seeing a Batman 2 with the
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
The last Batman was okay. I thought it was way too long.
Yeah, way too long. And if you took Catwoman out of it and just made it a Riddler movie, I thought that would have been amazing.
It also when he beat the Riddler, it should have ended, and then they went, let's do 30 more minutes.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It was way too long. But he was a cool Robert Pattinson. He was a cool Batman.
Yeah, he was a little emo as Bruce Wayne, but
the outfit was cool. Gotham was cool.
Yes.
The car was cool.
The Batmobile was cool. The motorcycle was cool. Everything was cool.
Yeah, the action looked good.
The only thing not good was the length of it, and the Catwoman story wasn't needed. You could have saved that for another movie.
The score was very good too.
Are they doing
the
another
score
one?
was
Like, I
great.
haven't heard
Yeah,
about a
yeah,
villain or.
they're in the writing room now. They're finalizing the script. One thing
I
that
had
And the
I had
Penguin
no
is coming
desire.
out too soon.
That
That's gonna
trailer
come-
came out today too.
Oh, really?
The Penguin HBO series, I think.
yeah.
Yeah. I sold a lot of clothes and shoes for the production of that show at my job. So I'm really excited to see that. That's gonna be-
Really?
yeah.
What kind of
Isn't it like-
shoes?
Like
Any were there
boots.
specific type of shoes?
Yeah, like for what's his name?
Colin Farrell.
Calvin Farrell for his character and other characters in the movie and in the show rather. Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be. I think that whole world, that whole universe that they created in that first Batman movie, I think it's believable and not too over the top. You say
No,
that?
I mean, script.
It's cool. It's cool. It's
There was
dark.
a bit of coincidental stuff in that script, right? Like how he just realized from a carpeting tool that there's a giant puzzle under the carpet of the apartment, right?
Yeah, well, that's
And, like,
Batman.
he
He's
just-
the greatest detective in the world.
Yeah, but it wasn't no great detect. Like, I would love to
That's
see
how
more
all-
of that.
That's how all TV is now, though.
Yeah,
Like,
it's just like
Have you watched
just
the new Lord of the
happens-
Rings? The Rings of
I
Power.
have that in my wasting time. I hate
can't.
you. I almost ended our friendship over you asking me to watch that show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
okay.
unbelievable. And also in that Batman, like one of the riddles, like whenever he comes out into the light and he happens to assassinate him as like he walks out under a street light, and like what are the odds they would walk him out under that exact street light? But that coincidental stuff, that's just. I think it's lazy writing or bad writing.
Yeah, but Mike, you're the only person I know that ever sees these little coincidental and like stuff like that.
Because I'm not a moron. Like, just
No,
most of us are.
That stuff bothers me too, especially in stuff that I really like. Like, I can overlook it in things that I don't know the lore about or that I'm not interested in. But like in Lord of the Rings, that kind of stuff happens all the time.
It's just they always happen to run into the exact person they need,
Yes.
or find the exact thing they needed, or the exact way something has to happen. It just happens. Like, spend a little bit of time writing your script. Like, I don't think they're giving to anybody.
Well, it was already a half an hour extra too long. So what do you want it to be? 4
You tighten
hours?
your script up.
Right.
Like, make it 90 minutes, make it tight. Every movie does not need to be 3 hours.
No, you're right.
They just
don't
even
let-
Deadpool. I felt Deadpool was too long, which
Way
I
too
really
long.
liked. Way too long.
Yeah.
All I
Extremely
wanted
too
was fight scenes. Like, there's no story in that movie. The story's unbelievably bad.
Yeah.
Just give me fight scenes then.
There's
Tell
no
me
reason
what
for
you-
him even to be in that situation. Like, I don't even want to get into that because
Yeah,
that's a
that's
whole
another
other
topic.
episode. Like, the bad guy, what was his name? Enigma? What was his name?
Yeah,
Paradox.
yeah.
Paradox takes him out of a timeline that he wants to destroy quicker, right? The timeline's going to
Yeah.
end, but he wants to destroy the timeline quicker, so he takes Deadpool out of it. But he why did he have to do that? He could have let Deadpool stay in the. He had the machine already. He already had the machine that was going to destroy the timeline. Why would he do anything with Deadpool?
I don't know.
It makes no sense.
Yeah, just to make the story happen. And like, I don't like when they do that, just to make the story happen. But and I something that popped up that I thought I didn't know if you guys would be interested. Do you know Macaulay Culkin is touring Home Alone this holiday season?
What's that mean? Touring?
He's
Home
coming
Alone?
to like 20 cities. They're renting out a theater, but not like a movie theater, like a music theater.
Yeah,
And
Radio
they're
City.
something like that. And they're gonna screen it, and then he's gonna watch it with you, and then do Q&A after it.
Wow.
20 different cities.
How much is that going to cost
you?
They weren't crazy. I think they were less than $100, depending on the city.
Oh wow!
Oh, I would do
At the
that.
house. I thought it was
He's
yeah. I
He's
thought that'd be
pimping
fun.
himself out.
Get
He
that
must
money.
be desperate for money.
Desperate for money.
Holy shit!
Desperate for money.
Wow,
Yeah.
what did he blow it all on? What's his drug
Blow.
of choice? Yeah,
You
right.
think so?
Blow.
Yeah,
Has to
maybe
be
straighten himself
something,
out
right?
now.
I'm gonna go watch movies with normal people for $100 a ticket. That seems weird to me. I mean, really cool if it's legit and he's just doing it because he wants to have fun. That's amazing.
It's called A Nostalgic Night with Macaulay Culkin, and he's doing Home Alone. Yeah, right around the holidays, like November and end of November, early December.
And he'll hit you with shovels and burn your hands, and he'll do all types of
micro machines on the aisles.
You have to
he
take
ices
your
the
shoes
floor
off.
when you walk in. You just slide down
all the doorknobs are burning hot.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So did I miss a story? You said
You
I
did.
missed the news story?
You did, and I can't believe it. I'm going to put it on the screen right now. I can't believe you didn't bring this up.
This is why Joe does the news.
Yeah.
Oh, because this is so sad for me.
Yeah.
This is so sad for me.
Yeah. So for those of you who are unaware, one of our favorite franchises, IPs of all time is the Grand Tour, or AKA Top Gear.
Top Gear
from the UK, and not the current day Top Gear, like old school first 20 years Top Gear, with three of the bestest friends in the world who you just got to watch them be friends for 25 years. And this is something I think all of us try to emulate in these podcasts that we do, is to show you how good of friends we are, and to just have fun and invite you into our friendship. And that's what the Grand Tour did for 20 years. It's Richard Hammond, it's James Clarkson, and
James May, Jeremy Clarkson.
James May, and Jeremy Clarkson. Three guys who were genuine friends with each other, that went on adventures with something they loved. They love cars. They love the world of cars. And they figured out a way to make a TV show out of their friendship. And that is my dream job. If I won the lottery and I could do whatever I want, the first thing I would do is buy 3 old cars. And I would have 4 old cars. I'd buy 4 old cars, and I would have them shipped to my 3 best friends, Sebi, Joe, and Mike. And I would say, meet me in Albuquerque, or whatever. I would fly them out. I would do something.
I knew I should have made that left at Albuquerque.
Yeah. And we would just, or you know what I would do? I would drive the truck carrying the 3 other trucks, or the 4 other trucks in it. You know, the big trucks.
Oh yeah,
I would have the 4 trucks on the back, and we would show up to one of Mike's barbecues, because Mike throws these big barbecue parties. And I would show up there, and I would tell everyone else at the barbecue to go F off. And I'm taking so Mike, Seb, and Joe.
I get divorced.
No, I would let your wife know. I would tell my wife to tell your wife, that this is what happened. My wife, that this is what's happening. And I would say, okay, everybody, and I would hand you a letter, just like they did in the show,
where we're going,
and it would tell you what the boss is going to make us do, and we would have to drive cross country.
For my wasting time, that's what I've been spending time doing, is rewatching some of my favorite Top Gears, because my little one got into watching Clarkson's Farm with me, and then she thought it was like, can we watch Top Gears? And I'm like, yeah, we can watch Top Gear. So I've been going back. God, you are really living vicariously through them. Like this is the kind of job that I think anyone who really has some good friends would want to do. Just being entertaining, sharing these really cool experiences with your buddies, but just kind of hanging out. And now the show became more scripted as they've gotten older, but like some of those early ones where they're just doing the shit we would do to one another, right? Like crazy glue the radio fully on and turn to just
one of my
really
favorites
fun stuff
is when they go down south. And
Hillary Clinton on the side of the car.
Yeah, I'm voting for Hillary.
Love.
Oh my God. And they got chased out of like a gas station by a bunch
They got chased out of a gas station in southern Alabama.
Yeah.
Or it was Mississippi or Alabama, one of those two. But
and just like stuff we've done, like when they buy each other the big obnoxious gifts, like we've done stuff like that. Bought each other embarrassing stuff just so someone else has to deal with it. I will genuinely shed a tear watching this if I had to guess.
When does this
air? The trailer almost got me.
Joe and I were Joe came down to visit me last week. This is part of my wasting time, but Joe came down to visit me. And one of the things that we did was listen to the shows that I found, the old podcast shows that we found. And one of the patron episodes. Yeah, we used to have patrons. Imagine that. People used to pay us on a weekly basis. On a weekly basis, people would pay us
We were
very
younger
small
and
amounts of
funnier
money.
then.
Yeah. But it was the story about Sebi's wife putting
What?
where would you fly? Sebi's wife used to work for like a marketing company. and like I think she was working for LaGuardia Airline or LaGuardia Airport.
Yeah.
And she was in charge of the Instagram for this company. And
Yeah.
she like put a scene of like a beach or something and said, where would you want to go on your next trip? And I was the first person to see this at like 9 a.m. And I commented Pound Town. And 5 seconds after I did it, I get a text message from Mike that was like, oh boy. Me and Joe were crying on the couch listening to this story. And I have the full recording. So if we ever get patrons again, I will re-release these stories.
I completely see, and like that's the cool part about Top Gear. They have all these things recorded because I don't remember that at all.
You don't remember that?
I don't remember that. At all.
Mike, I wrote Pound Town, and he got in so much trouble. She texted Sebi and was like, "Why the hell would he say that? Do I call his job and say stupid things to his boss?"
No, he does it himself, and always gets fired.
And Mike, I remember you saying, like, why does she think it was a good idea to post this to his friends? And she's met us before. She should know
That's
better.
always been my thing. Yeah.
Mike was blaming her.
Yeah.
I got my boys back.
So funny.
Oh
my god, dude. It was
I remember texting you like, why did you do
I don't know why I do anything I do.
And then Mike, and then you were like, and then Steve doubles down. I forget what you said, but you were definitely into the conversation. It wasn't like you weren't answering those texts. You were in that text thread.
I'm sure I just don't remember it.
And then you were oh dude, me and Joe were crying. We were crying. We were on the couch crying.
Yeah, I talk to you, Steve, on the phone like around the same time Joe was down there?
Yeah, like 5 minutes before that. That's what made us turn it on. Yeah. That's what made us turn on, because you called me and described another patron episode.
Oh my god, Mike! This was one of my favorite nights of all time. Is the night when we were recording the patron episode? And
I think I know the one you're talking about.
The ice cream bowl.
I leaned
the one
back.
where Joe's dad walked down the stairs.
Yes.
we were younger. We used to record in our buddy Joe's basement.
We weren't that young. Like Joe was living at home.
I was giving him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, we were like 30. Going in Joe's basement.
Like 30.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
But anyway,
and I leaned back because Steve was about to tell a story, and earlier tonight, Steve's looking at a yoga magazine, and he said some vulgar shit, and Joe's dad happened to be in the room or something or walked in.
He agreed with me.
Anyway,
yeah, but not in his house with his wife there.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Oh my god, we gotta release those again. Those were so.
I just remember that, like you telling me that you had offended him, and then he happens to walk back down the stairs as we're doing the same nonsense.
Yeah.
No, I was checking to make sure he wasn't coming down the stairs, and then you were like, "Oh my god, that's so inside baseball."
Oh, that's right, inside baseball. Oh man, but
yeah.
All right, let's move
like a job where you could have those experiences and then just put them out as your career. Come on, like what a dream.
For your entire life, like for your entire life.
Yeah.
And like he got fired from his job, and the other two followed him. Like that's how close they were. You know, like he got fired. He could have gotten replaced on Top Gear. He got fired from Top Gear because I think he slapped the producer.
I think he had to apologize or something. Say he was wrong. He could have gotten his job back, and he said he wasn't going to do it. And then they said, "Fuck it, we're not doing it either."
I don't think any one of them really works without the other two.
Well, they have like solo gigs. They do.
Yeah,
solo
James
gigs.
but none
May
of
does
it
a lot of stuff.
and it's all fine. I don't think any of it engenders as much love as Top Gear.
Yeah.
Like the Top Gear trips where they would go on long trips, I will put on in the background the way people put on The Office and like Seinfeld. You know, I'll just put it on and stop and like, oh, this is when they do the driving test. Oh, this is when they like. I just love some of it's me fantasizing about a world I wish I could have lived in.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was one thing I thought you would have brought up, but I'm glad we did. It was a while ago. It was a while ago.
The trailer they did, they call it One for the Road, and I forget what they playing in the background. Whatever song they're playing in the background is like crushing. It's just crushing. This is the last song that the last thing that they're gonna. It's so sad. Yeah. And they dissolved their company. I've been reading all the articles. Like they were like, we wanted to go out our way. We got to go out on our own terms. I get that, right? I get that. Before we got too old, before we got too messed up, we went out on our own terms. Yeah, which I get.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was the news segment. Then what we used to do, which we're going to start doing today. I don't know if we're going to do it in such depth as we used to, but we're going to do something called Wasting Time, which is where we would tell a story or two from our week. Normally it was just a mundane dad story that got a couple of laughs, got a couple of chuckles. Sometimes they didn't. Sometimes they were just coincidence, but sometimes they were absolute gems. Like when I almost killed my kids at IKEA, or when Mike almost punched a Panera register. there were some buttes. There were or was Joe's was the laundryman or the Chinese food guy? What was Joe's Chinese food guy story?
No, that was Chang. That was my laundry guy.
That was your laundry guy.
He stole Seb's wallet.
Yeah.
You laundered your wallet. Chang! Yeah. See.
Yeah. Oh man. But who wants to start wasting
when
time?
we were in the routine of doing this show more regularly, I would write stuff down and be like, "Oh, that's a good one."
I had to start making a note. I had to start putting notes. I got like 4 things on my notes here. But who wants?
I decided I was doing this with you guys yesterday. I am not back in the swing of things yet.
Nice. So, do you have a wasting time, Mike? You said earlier you had one.
It's just all things and that I've been watching, and the one I will talk about is Rings of Power.
Have you watched my live streams?
Dude, what? Why would you tell me to watch that?
The answer is no. He doesn't watch.
No. You said there was 2 people, and we know one of them was Seb. It's so bad, man.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It's bad in it looks good.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's unwatchable.
I'm really trying to separate the fact that it's Lord of the Rings, and I'm trying to just watch it as a separate show. Like that it has nothing to do with Lord of the Rings, to try to get through. That's how I get through it. Because it's something. Well, I mean, I love that whole thing. I love that world, and I want to. It looks good. Like
I'll just pretend it's not in that world.
The visual.
So I'm going to pretend the show isn't in it.
The visuals are really good. Like the show looks nice.
Yeah, I thought the Ents looked amazing. Yeah. The Wraiths looked amazing.
The Barrow Whites looked amazing.
The Barrow Whites, yeah. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
The show looks good.
There are just so many things that are bothering me. Like they're doing things out of order. And I'm like I said, I'm trying not to let that stuff bother me, because Peter Jackson did that, right? He took things and changed them and cut them out or rearranged them, so I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt that, the Elven Ring shouldn't have been made yet. They should have been made last. But
I don't even care about that stuff.
Yeah,
it's the decisions that the characters make within the world they created make no sense, right? Yeah. Like you want to change the history, that's fine. How on God's green earth, like Sauron is convincing Celebrimbor to help him make the rings. They realize it and they need to warn him. So eagles, magic,
Palantir,
not walk.
I said the same thing.
Not even horses.
I have a book here that I put all my notes in, and I'm like, my first thing on here says, "Why no horses?
Yeah.
Why no horses?
Walk." It's I was like,
The thing that
why?
gets me the most,
The most
is
important
that,
message in the history of forever. I will walk.
right. The thing that gets me is they got the characters wrong. Like, you could
Oh,
change
so wrong.
anything you want, but the elves are not the elves. The elves
No.
shouldn't be infighting with each other. The elves shouldn't be stupid idiots that are just, I don't know,
No,
easily
because some of them
manipulated.
are hundreds or thousands of years old, and they're dumb as can be. Like,
So dumb.
how did you survive 1,000 years? Like,
Right.
it doesn't even make
Right.
sense.
And the Numenorians are all wrong. Like, they're supposed to be the elite fighting force of Middle Earth, and they can't beat one girl elf. Like, they are supposed to be better fighters than the elves, right? What about in the last episode when the orcs snuck up on the elves?
1.5.
The orcs snuck up past the elves. How many times have we seen reference to when the Fellowship is walking into Lothlorien in the Fellowship to go see Galadriel, and all of a sudden Gimli's walking, all of a sudden there's 5 bows and arrows pointed at him, right? Because they heard him breathing from a mile away. What about Legolas standing on top of a mountain? And Legolas, what do your elf eyes see? And he can see for miles and miles and miles. The orcs, a band of orcs stomping around with their big armor on, they sneak up on the elves in the last episode. And it's like, really? Like, you got them all wrong. It's just, that's the stuff that gets me.
I don't understand what caused this.
Yeah.
Like, they clearly have, like, they want to make the female character strong, and I get all of that. But the script writing is so poor. There's no, like, why? I assume the wizard is Gandalf. Why drag that out for a season and a half? What are you doing? That's because you have no mystery in the story. You have to just create this artificial one.
The Harfoots.
Is this based on any books or anything, or is all
appendices mostly, right?
Yeah, they have the rights to appendices, and I think they have the rights to the Silmarillion, but they're not following the story. They're doing everything backwards and introducing people that shouldn't be there yet.
Okay.
So the Harfoots, which they're using, the Harfoots are the hobbits for this show, because they're not allowed to use the hobbits.
Yeah.
Right. So they're using the Harfoots, which are a species of hobbit, I guess, or an ancestor of the hobbits. Well, these 2 Harfoots, which are the most annoying, I just skipped through them. I don't even know what's going on with them because I just skipped through them. But they get captured by another subspecies race of wee people, and they're looking for Gandalf because they got separated, and they're trying to describe Gandalf to the new people that captured them. And they're like, oh, he's a giant. He's a giant man. And they're like, oh, well, he's an elf. And they're like, no, he's a grand elf. And it's like, grand elf, Gandalf, grand elf. Like, I don't know if that's what. I'm like, are you really doing that? You do.
But why? Why? How can the best mystery you can come up with for a character is to figure out his name? That's the best writing you can do with the character. He's a wizard, and the best thing you could figure out to do is we're going to hide his name for a couple of years. And it'll either be the worst guarded secret because he'll be Gandalf, or he'll be some other wizard like Radagast that will make no sense, right?
Yeah.
Like,
no one will care about it.
No one will care.
Yeah.
So, like, what are you doing?
You know what else bugs me is that we know that Isildur cuts the ring off of Sauron.
Yes.
We know this. We also know that Galadriel is alive through the Return of the King, and then goes to the west. Every time they're in a precarious situation, I know they're going to be fine.
Yeah.
You can't kill them.
They have to make it out.
They have to make it through because they're a very big part of the rest of the story.
That's the inherent problem with prequels.
Yeah.
Is you have to, how the chessboard has to look at the end. So the parts in the middle don't really matter because you know how it has to look at the end of the game, which is the problem. There's no stakes because you know everyone who has to make it or doesn't make it.
Right.
Yeah. And if that's the case, I want you to show me really interesting stories that get me to where I want to be. And they don't even do that. They're like, no, well, the stories suck. If I know how it ends and you're going to tell me a bad version to get me to the end, why am I watching? I'm not going to watch. Like, I'm so done with watching shows that make me angry. I don't want to watch them anymore.
I know.
I just don't.
Everything makes me angry. I haven't watched a good TV show in a very long time. I liked House of the Dragon. I don't know if you watched House of the Dragon.
I watched the first season. I haven't gotten into the second season as much.
The second season's not as good. It's not as good, but it's still entertaining. It's still good TV. It's still good TV. Sebi, you disagree?
No, after this last season of Game of Thrones, I wasn't gonna prepare to give them any more of my time.
The first season's great. Gotta watch first season, Seb. I'm telling you, watch first season. No, you got to do it. Watch the first season.
You just told me that it gets worse, so I'm not gonna even.
No, it's not. It's not bad. It's just not as good as the first season. It's still good TV. It is. It's just people, I think, have this idea of Game of Thrones where it's all friggin' like wars and battles. That's not what. If you go, I went back and rewatched the first 3 seasons of Game of Thrones. It's slow. Like there's a lot of talking at the tables for 3 seasons. There's every once in a while you get a big.
It was all intrigue.
Yeah, and that's what this show is. They went back to that, and I really like it. It draws you in. There may be one episode that's kind of not great out of the second season.
Watch old episodes of Cheers and Murder, She Wrote.
Fair enough.
What do you call it? You know what I've watched in the last couple of years that I thought was very good? Yellowstone.
That's very good. I
thought Yellowstone was very good.
I like it. I started watching. I started watching the prequels.
Okay, 1883.
And 1883. They're really good too. They're really good too. And you don't have John Denton in it, so you don't have to worry about the stakes or whatever.
Yeah,
it's all his ancestors.
I liked that show, but most modern stuff, everything they've remade or dragged back out, or like, hey, we're gonna do an homage to a thing you liked. I'm like, no, you're not gonna like it. I'm not gonna like it. Which
is everything. Like they don't have a single original bone in their bodies these days.
Oh, I saw a list of all the movies that are coming out in 2025.
Yeah,
I want to say something like 90% of them were a sequel, a
prequel, remake.
Yeah, there was nothing new. Nothing. Right. No, you're like, I wonder what that movie is by the title. Like, no, none of that. It's bad. I don't know why that happened. Like people say, they want a guaranteed audience, right? Because movies are so expensive now, you need a built-in guaranteed audience. So you take something people are nostalgic about and they'll go see it. But I think they've spoiled that so badly now that when I see something I love, I go, I don't want to watch you molest that. Like, I don't want to watch you hurt the thing I love. So I won't watch it.
And they tell you it right up front. This is not going to be the story that you know. They did it with Snow White. The first thing that girl came out and said was like, this ain't going to be about love. This ain't going to be about the prince. Like, this is a strong, powerful woman who's going to boss around 9 dwarves. Or how many dwarves are there? 7 dwarves.
No dwarfs originally.
Yeah,
now true. They went back and put in those horrible monsters that I don't know why they're just not putting that away.
Yeah.
Just make that be like Batwoman, right? The universal that
write it off. Write
it off. Yeah. There's no way that ends well.
Willow. Remember Willow?
Willow.
Yeah. There's no way that Snow White, there's no way that how is that good? No one's gonna watch that. It's just gonna stir up all this controversy. Just put it away.
Be like the Acolyte. It's gonna be the same thing. It's just you're gonna have some people that go and watch it, but the majority won't even give it a chance.
Huh? No one watched the Acolyte. No,
your brother liked it. Joe told me your brother liked it.
Whose brother?
Yours.
My brother.
That's what I said. I was like, really?
No. He's a giant Star Wars fan. He probably cried. He probably cried. No, he punched out, I think, during Ahsoka like I did. He's like, that's it, I'm done. No more. No more.
Yeah.
I got halfway through Ahsoka and I was like, no, I can't. They're not even enjoyable to watch. Like, there's nothing fun about them. There's nothing heroic about them. They're terrible. The characters are all poorly written.
Yeah.
I liked Andor and season 1
that
of
was
Mandalorian.
Good. A lot of people liked Andor.
And the last season of the Bad Batch was good. Well, the Bad Batch in general.
Yeah, I watched the first season of that, but it's just too many episodes for me to get through them all. They lost, like, my teenage daughters don't like them. And, like, that's crazy. Like, I raised them as Star Wars fans, and they don't like the female-led shows. Like, ooh, that's a problem.
Well, they're not lesbian space witches.
No.
Your daughters.
One
So
can,
they can't see
Here's
themselves in
hoping.
the show. Yeah. Sebby, did you waste any time?
No, not really. I have a story, but I can't tell it. I'll save it for a Patreon episode.
Save for a
or,
Patreon episode?
Yeah.
Already. We don't even have
just in
Patreon
case.
episodes.
I don't
Yeah,
want
we need
it.
some patrons.
I don't want it to go. It could blow up really bad if I tell this story, but
Oh,
I'll tell
cool.
you, it's a real doozy.
I have another name for a podcast ready to go.
Yeah, I might lose friends and stuff if I tell this story, so I'll pass. We got a band to talk about soon, so
I think a good 3.0.
All right, sorry. I'm the first time I'm using this feature, so this is my way.
Hillbilly games.
So Joe came down.
This is what they do in the South for the Olympics.
Dude, it was the best night that he was here by far. So Joe comes down and flies in on a Friday night. I go pick him up at the airport, take him out to a nice dinner. And then that was on Friday night. On Saturday, I think we just hung out. We hung out and we worked on this podcast a little bit. He helped me figure some stuff out on StreamYard. And he
what do you
figure
think
some
nice
stuff out.
dinner was, Seb?
Oh, no, it
Pig's
was nice.
feet,
No.
Pig's feet and cracklins.
He had a pork chop. He did have a pork
Grits.
chop, a really good pork chop.
He had instant grits.
No self-respecting Southerner eats instant grits.
And then they robbed the sacks of suds. And then Joe had to call his cousin Vinny to help bail him out.
How'd you know? You read my notes. So the last night he was here was Sunday night, and it just so happened to be the Murray County Fair, which is my county's state fair. Well, yeah.
Hot dog.
So my daughter, on a side note, my daughter plays travel softball, and we're on this team with all locals, right? And I absolutely love everybody on this team. All these parents are really, really cool. The girls are really, really cool. And there's a kid that's one of the sons of one of the coaches, and we call him E. We'll just call him E. And if you remember A League of Their Own, he is Stillwell Angel, but the southern redneck version.
Y'all gonna lose.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't antagonize us.
I say, there's no crying in baseball.
He's actually really polite. He's a sweet little boy. Like everyone really likes E. Like no one likes Stillwell. Everyone likes E, right? But he'll have like an ice cream cone, and he'll drop it, and he'll
lollipop.
He'll have it, and he'll drop it, and he'll go, "Son of a bitch!" Right? And he'll do this.
Dang nabbit.
He goes, "Son of a bitch!" Right? And he's 6. He's 6 years old. And I'm just like, oh my God, I love being where I love living here. I absolutely love living here.
Son of a bitch.
He goes, "Son of a bitch." And like I do the fireworks down here. I go bananas with the fireworks down here because I lived in New York my entire life. I was never allowed to do them. I used to buy like these little tiny things from Costco, and cops used to fucking take them because they're scum, right? They just took my fireworks. And oh no, hold on a second. I got to switch cameras here. Hold on.
We're good at this.
No, we are good at this. I think my battery just died on me.
End credits.
That's
started.
all right. That's okay. I'll just put my this one on. No big deal. There we go. Okay, do that now. There you go. So so we're doing the fireworks, and I bring him over to the house one night, him and his parents and a couple of the girls, and I say, do you want like a fireworks show like preview? And he's like, yeah. So I take like 4 or 5 of them out, and I blow them up in front of the house, and they're the big ones. I got the big ones to show them off. And he's like, "Can we come over for 4th of July?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So he goes, last year at 4th of July, we had fireworks, and it tipped over, and it shot into my house, and the front door caught on fire, and the fire men had to come and put it out. I'm like, "Really?" He goes, "Nah, I'm just lying. I got you." And dude, he came up with this so quick, straight-faced, And it was just great. But anyway, so the Murray County Fair. Now I've been to the Murray County Fair every year since I've been down here, and the first year was during COVID. Right, it was like peak COVID, no masks, just
What does
friggin'.
peak COVID look like in the South?
It looks like every day, like non-peak COVID.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Anywhere else.
It's a Tuesday.
Yeah, it's just a Tuesday, and it wasn't. I gotta say, it wasn't great. It wasn't a great county fair. I've been to some other county fairs around here that have been a lot nicer.
Seth, how many county fairs you been to?
A couple.
Really?
Yeah, Wayne
Huh.
County.
I've never
Is that
been to a
Pennsylvania?
county fair.
Yeah, Pennsylvania. That's a big one.
Before I lived here, I've never gone to one, but we went to the Italian festivals. We went to the San Gennaro Feast
fair enough.
and that stuff. You know, we got the
Hey.
Zeppelis. They have all the same stuff. It's just a southern version of it, right? Instead of
What is
Zeppelis,
a
they got
Southern
funnel
Zeppeli?
cakes,
Yeah, they got a
cake,
fried Oreo over there.
fried Oreos, fried Twinkies, you know, stuff like that. They have sausage sandwiches down here. They're not as good, but you know what they have?
Two
They have like,
giant statues do they carry around? And people
I-
pin dollar bills to.
A giant Trump.
yeah, giant Trump,
Foghorn Leghorn and Yosemite
yeah.
Sam.
Yeah, exactly. This so the Murray County Fair, they really did it up this year. And I'm looking at the program, and for the first 2 nights they had a rodeo, and the last night they had something called a jump and run. And I never heard of what a jump and run. I was like, what's a jump and run? I was thinking it was like those blow up things for the kids where they tie themselves to like a bungee cord and they run and they get pulled back. Do you ever see those games like where they have it at like the fairs or whatever? I thought that's what that was, like jump and run, kind of that stuff. But we're walking through and the kids are going on rides. We bought the tickets for the kids, and me, Joe, and my wife are walking around just making sure the kids are my wife are just, you know, they're safe or whatever. And then I see like where the rodeo is, the arena, I just see people flooding into the stands. So I was like, wife, I'm gonna go check out what's going on. So Joe, I was like, Joe, come with me. So we go and we sit down and we just see these mounds of dirt piled up in the middle of the track there. And I'm like, what is this? So we sit down, and it's basically a what do you call those derbies where they crash the cars?
Demolition Derby.
Demolition derby, but in a race, like of 2 cars, right? So 2 cars come to the front of this arena. They drive through the middle of it, and then they make a turn and have to do 2 laps around the track, and they're allowed to hit each other and bump each other and crash each other. And then whoever wins goes on to the next round. Whoever loses is out. They did 60 cars worth of jump and runs, right? And this is one of the races, because I just had to show you guys. I was so happy. First of all, I got to say before this, the national anthem was, you got to talk to Joe about the national anthem. It was the most Southern national anthem ever. And in the home of the free, it was literally like that, right?
Was it
was
played
How
on
many
one of
times you
those?
shoot your pistol up in the air?
It was played on a washboard
Yeah,
and a jug
Jug. and a broom, and a broom in a bucket.
a broom bass. But no, it was like she starts singing, and we're all, you know, everyone down here is.
Do
They take
you
that-
do the toss bang a banner to the Confederate flag? That's not weird.
We don't do that, Mike. The different song.
The different
Not in
song.
public.
That's
Not in
Dixie.
public, at least.
They play Dixie. No, I'm just joking. At Publix, like the supermarket Publix. So like we take our hats off and we bow our heads, because they say they pray all the time. They pray first, and then that's another thing I got to tell you. So we have and she starts singing, and I just go to Joe. I'm like, huh. I did one of Mike's, huh. And Joe just starts cracking up, and like, you can't do that down there. You can't laugh during the national anthem. Like people get pissed. But to go off track one more minute, after all the softball games, no matter if you win or lose, both teams go to the mound and pray. Right, that's like the thing down here. And when I first saw it, I was like, "What's going on? Like, what's going on?" Right? But they all all the people go to the mound, all the girls and all the coaches, and they all pray together about to Jesus and thanks for letting us play this great game and give grace to the Lord. And they all go, and Joe's like, "What are they doing?" And I'm like, because he came to one of her softball games. He's like, "What's going on here?" I'm like, "Oh, they're just praying to the Lord." And he goes, "Oh, okay." great. But I want you to watch this race because this is what Joe got to see, and I'm so glad Joe got this experience. Let's see here. Now, each one of these cars is like, it could be a 1998 Grand Marquis. It could be a brand new Chevy Malibu.
I'm guessing not a lot of Toyotas and Hondas.
There were a couple of those. There were a couple of Hondas and Toyotas and some like
people just
Mercury
move-
Cougars. And they just soup them up, and like they have no grills. They have like one like donut tire on the back. It's amazing. And like the winner gets like $3,000, and I'm sure they have to just fix their car. All the radiators were broke. Like there was antifreeze everywhere. Right. So now I want you to take a look at the Roto-Rooter car. Okay. The inside car, the Roto-Rooter car. On the next lap, something's going to happen to the Roto-Rooter car, which is absolutely phenomenal. And everybody's going crazy because this is one of the final races of the night. Wait for it. All right, here's the final stretch. Watch that Roto-Rooter car. And there he goes.
Oh,
Flips over, lands on his tires, finishes the race.
just let him cheer.
Unbelievable. So this is what Joe got to see. We watched this for probably an hour and a half. Like we
Really?
stopped
As you should.
We stopped doing the fair. We stopped doing the county fair and did that for like an hour
I
and a
think
half.
this might be the most county fair thing you did.
Oh, absolutely.
No, Steve, upstate by my parents' place, they have a short track, and
Uh-huh.
I love taking Bede to that on Saturday nights.
Yeah.
They don't have. It's not a dirt track. I've sent you guys videos of that. I mean, it's so much fun. Everybody's really nice, and it's just a great time. I
Yeah.
wish I was there. It looks so much fun.
Oh, it was great. Come next year, man. Come next year. You guys have to get here for 4th of July and watch my fireworks shows. But yeah, I'm gonna save my other wasting times for another time because I just had to get that one out there. That was so good. Oh, and we saw somebody vomit on a ride.
Was
So
it
it's-
like the Sandlot?
So yes,
Somebody
yes.
had some big league chew.
Yes. So imagine the Dumbo ride, but instead of elephants, they're spaceships.
Okay.
And they go up and they're
Was
going
tequila
around.
playing in the background?
Yes. No, it was more like George Strait or something. But they're going around, and then at the end, they violently shake them up and down, right? Really violently shake them up and down. And we're looking, and this girl's every time she comes around, because we're online waiting to get on the ride. And every time she comes around, she looks more and more green. And she just goes and fills up the spaceship. The spaceship is an inch deep in her vomit. Right. And her friend, she's on with a friend.
Oh,
And the
no.
friend is just hanging over the side with a face like this.
How old are they?
17, 18 years old.
Oh,
You know, two girls. One girl's just staring because she has to wait for the ride to end.
Yeah.
Right. Like there's no getting off. The one girl is
just
the
the
girl who
centrifugal force pushing that vomit towards you. You should go around the.
Well,
Yeah.
thank God she was on the inside. Oh no, the centrifugal. Oh, it's on the other girl's shoes. So the
Yeah.
girl who vomited was on the inside. So
I'm pretty sure
the
they were
centrifugal-
boots.
Yeah, they probably were. So she gets off the ride. Her entire jeans are soaking wet with her own vomit. And her friend is soaking wet with her friend's vomit. And I think
You're pointing and laughing.
well,
Look
we're
at
all
those
every-
jerks.
Look at him.
so do you know they did not skip a ride?
They went on
They
another
just
ride?
so the Mexican guy was like, no, you don't use that one. You don't use that one. And they left the friggin' vomit in it.
What else are they gonna do?
I got to talk to my
don't
cousin
know,
about that.
sop it up.
His cousin's got to hose that down.
Oh, they didn't hold it down. No, you don't know that one. No, that one.
Wow.
Oh man.
Hers, what's up with your cousin? We want to know.
That's wild.
That's crazy.
But that was my wasting time. It was a really fun show. I'm so glad Joe got to witness the true South of Murray County. But all right, so our main topic tonight is The Boys from Manchester, right? They're from Manchester, I think.
Yeah, from the south of the United States. So let's go all the way to the north of England, the
There
Manchester,
you go.
England.
And they have, let's see, I'm going to put their picture up here. This is one of our favorite bands ever, Oasis. And the boys, the brothers Gallagher, Noel and Liam, have been famous for fighting and breaking up over the years. They arguably had one of the biggest albums ever. I don't know about in the world, but definitely in England. I think it might have been in the world. It was one of the biggest selling albums for a long time, until that got broken. But we're going to talk about our love for this band, and we're going to talk about our favorite songs and some concerts and videos and stuff like that. But Sebi, since this was your idea, so I'm going to let you take the lead on this.
Sure. So like you got like Oasis had a big rivalry with another Brit pop band during the early 90s with Blur. Were you guys any Blur fans?
No.
No.
I might know a song or two by Blur.
I
Okay.
think Oasis might have won that rivalry.
Yeah, well, back then it was very neck and neck. They were like battling it out with each other for like when single releases and stuff to see who would sell more. But in the UK, it was definitely a huge thing, a huge battle between Blur and Oasis. So I just wanted to see if you guys were had any affiliation or you liked one more than the other. I figured you guys didn't really care about Blur, but I just wanted to see.
Not as much as Oasis, right? Like Oasis they seem like a seminal group from when we were teenagers.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
Do you remember the first time you heard Oasis?
I want to say it was an MTV music video.
Yeah,
Which album or which song do you remember?
It had to be Champagne Supernova or Wonderwall.
It had to be Champagne Supernova.
The one where they're in the mansion. Is that Champagne Supernova?
No, that's Don't Look Back in Anger.
Oh, then that was it. There was Don't Look Back in Anger probably on MTV or VH1, whoever used to show movies back or music videos back then. When I just remember somebody sitting in the middle of a swimming pool strumming a guitar.
Yeah, that's Don't Look Back in Anger.
Okay,
that's
probably the first one.
So that's from the second album,
right?
Yeah, that's from the second album. That's like the third single from that album.
From Don't Look Back in Anger album, yeah.
Yeah, from What's the Story, Morning Glory.
What's the Story, Morning Glory? I'm sorry, yeah.
For me,
I don't remember when I go and listen to those other songs from the first album. Definitely, maybe I don't remember hearing those prior to Champagne Supernova and Wonderwall.
No, I might have went back and got those.
Yeah. I heard them first on the first album. My cousin, who was a little older than me, she played them. We picked. I remember the day like it was yesterday. My mother picked them up, and we were going to the mall or something. And she's talking about. She was really into this. This is when the Beatles were really big again. In the early '90s. Remember when that was going on, or early 90s? And she's like, oh, these guys are like the Beatles, and because the song came on K-Rock, and it was Live Forever. And that was the first time I remember. It was a rainy Friday night, and I heard Live Forever. I was like, oh wow, these guys are cool. And back then I used to listen to like a lot of hip hop and rap, so I was like huge. I like Tribe Called Quest and Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg. And then I heard them. I was like, oh, wow, this is pretty cool. And then I listened to that Definitely Baby album. Like I didn't have it. I didn't buy that album, but I like whenever it came on the radio, I would listen to like Supersonic, Cigarettes and Alcohol. So like I knew who they were, but what really made them big in the US was that second album, Morning Glory. So so you guys, what are your, in no particular order, do you guys have any favorite songs? Do you have top 3 favorite songs from Oasis?
You want to do like one each, or do you want to go all 3 at a time for everybody?
Let's go one each. So maybe we don't if we double or have the same one, we can maybe change it up a little.
My number 3 is Up in the Sky. It's off of the Definitely Maybe album, and it's basically a direct ripoff from Rain, which is a Beatles song.
Yeah.
And I really love B-sides, and I love songs that don't get played on the radio as often as the big hits. Those
Mhm.
always seem to be my favorite songs. Doesn't matter what band it is. Could be the Beatles, could be Tom Petty. Like Tom Petty, like one of my favorite songs is Breakdown, which is a big song for him, but it's
Yeah.
not like normal people who just listen to radio
Yeah.
know Free Fallin' and they know Learning to Fly or something like that, but they don't know Breakdown. They've never heard Breakdown.
It's
lot
a
of times.
song that you listen to that album a few times, and then it starts to become your favorite on that album.
Yeah.
That's not a mainstream. Yeah, I get it. I'm the same
And
way.
it has this riff. It's and it just sounds like Rain, and they admit that. You know, they say, you know, we just ripped off Rain, didn't we? You know, so
Yeah,
that's my
well,
number 3.
Noel always says he like takes a little thing from one band and another band, and he combines them and makes it into his own thing, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
I
That's
think
my
it'd be
number 3.
crazy to say they weren't hugely influenced by the Beatles.
Oh no,
Oh,
they
no.
admit that.
Yeah,
They admit they were.
Hugely influenced. Yeah.
Yeah. And other bands that I don't know, like the Stone Roses. Like I don't know anything about the Stone Roses, but I know that every interview I watch with Oasis, they always talk about the Stone Roses.
Well, Noel was a roadie for Stone Roses.
Oh, was he?
Oh.
Yeah, he was a roadie for them, and then
Huh.
he got back to Manchester, and Liam, he ran into Liam, and he's like, "Oh, I got a
Punched
band."
him in the face and then said, "We should start a band."
Liam says, "Oh, I got a band. Do you want to hear us play?" And then he went to see them play, and he knows like, "Oh, you guys are shit." And then he's like, "You want to be my band?" And then he's like, "Yeah, but I'm writing the songs and everything." And he was like, "Yeah, sure, whatever."
That worked out for them.
Yeah, sure did. Who's got a number 3?
I have a kind of an obscure one. Little by Little. Off of
Little
Heathen
by
Chemistry.
little. Great.
I just think the
Great
hook
song.
on that is so good.
That's
The
a good
hook
one.
on that one. Yeah.
Is that a Noel song? Does Noel sing that
Yes.
song?
Yes,
Yeah, it's a
all
Noel
by
song.
himself. I don't
Yeah.
even think in the video. I think it's only Noel in the video. I don't even think Liam's in it. If I haven't seen it in years, I don't think he's in that video. Yeah,
That's a
That's
good
a good
pick,
one.
Mike.
it's obscure, but the hook, like your God woke up on the wrong side of the bed this morning, like it's a really good one. I like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My no particular order. Like my favorite songs for Oasis like changes like constantly. So, but one of my favorite driving songs, if I'm by myself in the car and I'm on the highway, if I'm going fast, I love to hear Bring It On Down from the
Yeah.
Definitely Maybe sound album.
Mm-hmm.
Really hard rock, like great riffs. It's one of their harder songs from that album as well.
They got, as they got older, they got away from that more and more.
Yeah.
And I like the early stuff way better than I like the later stuff. I like it all,
Yeah.
but the earlier stuff has such more drive to it and such more grit to it.
Mhm.
So yeah, I get what you're feeling. That's why most of mine come from the first 2 albums.
Okay, what's your your second one?
This was really tough because like I have a runners up list, and all of these runner up lists, everything on the runner up could have been on the top 3, but I'm gonna say Rock and Roll Star
Oh,
is
it's a
my
good
second
song.
favorite.
That's a good one.
It was really hard not to put that one first because like that's the first one I play. Like whenever I get in the car and I'm like, oh, let me listen to Oasis. It's Rock and Roll Star, man. Like it's such a rockin' tune right in your face. It's pure Oasis. Love that song. Love playing it too.
Mikey?
I'm going to say Live Forever. I love Live Forever.
You love Noel songs.
I
No, that's a Liam song.
That's what I. Is it?
No, yeah, no, that's
the chorus. The chorus is Noel.
Chorus, yeah.
Okay.
Noel sings the chorus, but Liam's singing that.
Okay.
I mean, aren't they all kind of Noel songs he wrote?
No, I
Well,
mean like
yeah,
Noel
you know what I
singing
mean.
and Noel or Liam singing.
Like when you watch their documentary, that one that came out a couple years ago, where they talk about like the creation of that that album, like I didn't realize how much of how he kind of carried the load of writing that entire album, basically
The
by
whole
himself.
thing, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we went and got Chinese. And he's like, oh, I
The
wrote Champagne Supernova while you were gone.
The
Like,
first 3 albums were like that. They had
Yeah.
like zero input. He just brought them
Yeah.
all with him.
yeah,
And I think once they started like actually contributing, like Liam actually wrote a song or two like on Heathen Chemistry. And you can just tell they're not.
Songbird, I think,
They're not.
right?
Yeah, Songbird's a good little song.
It's a good song.
That's a good little song.
Yeah.
And that's about another band, I think. I think that's about a female band
Oh,
called
really?
the Songbirds. Yeah. If I remember that correctly. What's your number 2, Seb?
Again, in no particular order. Swamp Song. So
An
Swamp
instrumental.
Song, it's an instrumental. It's
Yeah.
the first time I ever heard it was just a snip of it on the Morning Glory album. And it's played between like Wonderwall and another song, and then you hear this really cool, almost southern riff. And it's like, oh wow, that's like when I first heard the album the first time I listened, I was like, oh, this song's gonna wail, and then it just fades away, and it fades into Champagne Supernova. I'm like, oh man, what that was gonna be a cool song, and then years later, it was released as a single. It was a B-side on one of their singles from that album, but they released it on a full album years in 1998 on the Master Plan album, where they released all their B-sides on one album. But it's a cool effing riff. If any Major League Baseball player ever came out like a closer came out to that song, it's like the perfect song for a closer to come out to in baseball. It's such a cool, like, it's called Swamp Song, and it's a real cool, like, southern, like, great licks. It's really, I love it. I love it.
It's sandwiched between Morning Glory and Champagne Supernova.
Yeah, there you go.
On the What's the Story Morning Glory album. My number 1 comes off of that same album, and it's actually Liam's favorite song. So I didn't choose that. I didn't make that my favorite song after I found that. That was actually my favorite song prior to hearing him say that. So if you type in Liam Gallagher 100 questions, there's a video of him doing an interview for like a British magazine, and he's walking through
a field.
He's walking through a field, and the reporter is just asking him question after question, and he just gives one-word answers. That's all it is. It's 100 questions, 100 one-word answers, no thinking about it, no explanation about it. It's just, what's your favorite Oasis song? And he goes, Cast No Shadow. And I'm like, no way, that's my favorite Oasis song. Cast No Shadow is one of my favorites, because there's a really
good song.
There's like deeper meaning behind that. Like, as he faces the sun, he casts no shadow. How, like, what is wrong in your life that's going on, right? Where like you don't even exist on the planet. Like, that's how you feel. Like you feel like you don't even exist, where the sun wouldn't even cast your shadow. It's kind of deep, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just a cool melody and a cool song. And I have a whole bunch of other ones that we can talk about in honorable mentions. Mike, what's your number 1?
So I didn't want to do like Wonderwall or Don't Look Back in Anger. So I went, still kind of a big hit for them, some might say.
Yep, love it.
I really like that one.
I was listening to that one this morning.
Yeah.
Doing my research.
I just like, their big hits are so well known, and I didn't want to put ones that like I figured we were going to talk about anyway. So I tried to go a little more obscure.
The big ones aren't even my favorite, though. Like in all reality, the big ones aren't my favorite.
I would defy you to be out somewhere and not have Wonderwall come on and you not sing along. I would defy you. It's got to be one of those sing along songs of all times.
It's not that I don't like it, but when I'm listening to an Oasis album, I might skip that one just to get to the next one. Yeah, probably not. I mean, but if so I did, good. I much rather listen to Columbia or Fade In and Out. Fade In and Out is like a country western kind of rock lick, which is pretty cool. I don't know if you know that one. That's an interesting one. But Columbia was on my honorable mention. Sebby, what was your number 1? Did you give us your number 1? No, right?
Well,
once again, in no particular order.
Morning Glory.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Again, another.
That's the one with the helicopter at the beginning, right?
Yeah. Another. It's from the Morning Glory album, obviously, and it's just
Mhm.
great, hard, like fast guitar, and Liam singing like at the top of his lungs.
The
It's
solo
really
in
good,
that's
hard.
very good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Noel's solo and that's very good
Yes.
on guitar. It's very good.
Me and
Yeah.
Joe used to record music back when we were in college, and one of the we recorded a lot of very bad songs that had very bad lyrics and melody.
Red Rooster.
Red Rooster was one of those. And I'm a realist. I'm my own worst critic, and I really think there were 3 songs that were decent, like that wouldn't offend you if you heard them. And one of them that I did had a helicopter intro that was based off of Morning Glory.
Ah.
We had a keyboard, and the keyboard could do sounds, and one was the whirling of the blades, which was pretty cool. But you have any honorable mentions?
Mike, you have any honorable mentions?
It's just going to be all the big ones, like Don't Look
Yeah.
Back in Anger, Champagne Supernova, Wonderwall. Those are all. Acquiescence is very good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Slide Away.
That's a good song
Great
too.
song.
That's
a
good song.
Talk Tonight is really good, as well
Tonight's
as a
great.
Noel acoustic song. It's really, really good. And Cast No Shadow again. That's like Steve was saying, or Mav was saying.
Cigarettes and Alcohol. I love Cigarettes and Alcohol.
Like I said, it's so hard to pick one favorite song because those first couple albums, every single one was just killer. And
it's really a shame they couldn't maintain that whatever magic they had at the very beginning, like because they were never that band again. They were just never that band again.
Well, Noel speaks about the third album, how they were all high on cocaine. So like that, he's like, this was like, it's so funny. It's an interview where he talks about Morning Glory and how much love and work he put into it. And then, no, not Morning Glory, definitely Maybe. And then Morning Glory, how he talks about how he wrote it in like each song in like 30 seconds or whatnot. And then the third one, he's like, oh, that was shit. We were all high and on drugs, and it was a piece of garbage. But there are some good songs on that album as well. What was the main freaking single on that?
On which album?
The third one, Be Here Now.
All right, I got the discography here. Give me a second. Be Here Now.
Right.
We have Do You Know What I Mean? Big Mouth, Magic Pie, Stand By Me. Stand By Me.
Around the World, that was a big one from that.
Don't Go Away was a big one.
That was a good one.
Don't go away.
Yeah. What else do we got to talk about?
I got some.
Did you guys try to get tickets to them?
Yeah, I was in a queue for an hour and a half.
Did you ever see them, Steve?
No, I never got to see the tickets. Did
you ever see Oasis live?
Oh, yeah. I've seen Oasis live twice.
Yeah, me too.
One time Jet opened up for them. Great friggin' show, because Jet's one of my favorite bands too. That was one of those bands that was really short-lived. They only had 2 albums come out. I think maybe there was a third, but it didn't do well. They were an Australian band, but they opened up. Yeah, they sang Cold Hard Bitch and Are You Gonna Be My Girl?
That was at the Garden, right?
That was at the Garden, and we were really close.
I was at that show.
Yeah, we were like first row stage left.
Oh, wow.
Oh, we got 2 comments here, boys. Oh, here we go. Joseph Tambini says, first time I saw Oasis, I was stranded in the desert looking for water. What a boo. It's an Oasis joke, crickets. Look, now we have no watchers. Thanks, Joe. Thanks for that. He also says song 2 by Blur is really song 2. Song 2 is really song 2. Oh, he thinks it's shit, I think is the
No, that's a deep cut from high school. Some kid thought it was hilarious that song 2 on Blur is really the second song on the album. And this kid told us this, and he had this big grin on his face. And me and Joe just looked at each other, we're like, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we know, buddy. Okay, it's two. I get it.
Run along.
See, I took that in a completely different way. I thought he was saying that it was shit.
No, that's a
No.
fine song.
Yeah.
That's probably their biggest hit, no?
Yeah,
yeah,
100%.
probably. That's their biggest
100%.
hit. They had
Yeah.
some other good ones, but that's their biggest hit.
I can't remember the second time I saw them.
That high, huh?
Yeah, right. I cannot remember if it was. It might have been the Garden twice because I don't think I've seen them in Jersey.
I saw them with
definitely
Seb at
haven't seen
Radio
Jersey.
City.
Yeah, we saw
Okay.
them. Space Hog opened up for them.
And
Then
the
they
Black,
played. Yeah,
Black
they
Rose,
played.
no?
Yeah, then
Oh,
Oasis
what a
played.
show
and then,
that would have been.
then the
Yeah,
Black Rose
wait.
closed the show.
Wait, and didn't Paige play with the Black Rose at that show?
No.
Jimmy
They-
Page?
No, that wasn't that. That was the summer before or after he did that.
Hmm.
He didn't play with. That tour was called the Tour of Brotherly Love.
Right.
And when we got there, me and Mike were like talking, how the hell is Oasis opening up for the Black Rose?
Yeah.
And then these two
Black
guys
Rose
who are maybe
fans.
10 years older than us, they're like, oh man, you've never seen the Crows?
Crows
You'll
are
know
good.
why. He's like,
Ooh.
you'll know why as soon as they come
Dude.
on stage.
Were they good or bad?
Oh
Yeah.
my God. Amazing.
Like we
Oh,
really
yeah,
thought
the Black Rose
Oasis
are
was
great.
good, and they
Yeah.
shredded them on. They was so good. The Crows
Yeah.
were so good.
Yeah, Black Rose are
Amazing.
great.
Yeah, they're like a band straight out of the 70s.
Yeah.
Right? Like that whole the look, the aesthetic, the vibe, they were really
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're
and
phenomenal.
they play like real hard. Like it's a real energetic show. They were great. They
Yeah, it
were
was
really
a
yeah.
fun show. That was a
Yeah.
great show.
Yeah.
And then I saw him at the Garden once. I think Jet opened for them. I was probably at the same show you were at, Steve.
Mm-hmm.
But I was a little high in the stands that night.
Eating some magic pie.
No.
So-
Anyway,
Seb, I heard something interesting about why they're getting back together.
Money?
what are they broke?
No, well, yeah, it is. It's ultimately money. That next year, they're eligible to sell their catalog. You know how like certain bands have like sold their catalog,
Oh,
so they might be doing this to drum up interest in them again, so that they can. What is Oasis's catalog going to go for? $500 million? Like it's going to be hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah,
Is he gonna want to sell it though?
I bet you any money they want to sell it and walk away, the two of them.
You don't think they have more money than they
Everyone
can ever
sold
spend?
this. Who hasn't sold their catalog?
Yeah.
They've all in the last couple of years. Every big artist has sold their catalog out from under them.
I mean,
It's the way to
why-
walk away.
yeah, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's so many songs that it's crazy how yeah. Well, there all those the nightmare scenarios for those people trying to buy tickets for these reunion shows.
People hate it.
Yeah. And that's not I don't know how much is it they're to blame or it's Ticketmaster. Because you hear
Yeah.
stories like this all the time. Ticketmaster, like this summer, me and Joe tried to get tickets to an Arsenal game, and Ticketmaster was a complete nightmare. And I could only imagine how much.
I can't understand what's going on with all of that. Like I tried to get a couple different shows this summer, and you're in huge queues. They're sold out. Then like they're ridiculously priced on the resale market. I just don't understand.
But Ticketmaster was like beefing up the prices too for their own shows and stuff like that, like through them as well. Like it's crazy. I don't know how do they have so much power where they can just.
I just don't understand why the artists don't go no resale. We will not let you resell the tickets.
Mm.
If you're that popular, right? We will any ticket you don't want, we'll buy back because we'll just resell it.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
So no resales, and that because one of my daughters really wanted to see Taylor Swift. You couldn't get tickets for under $800 or $900. I'm not paying that for a show.
No.
Where I wanted to see Elton John when he was doing his final tour, they were $350 a show. He can't even sing anymore. $350 a show.
You barely walk.
It's I wanted to see Pearl Jam this summer. It was crazy expensive.
I know. I wanted to see Pearl Jam
Yeah.
too this summer. I've never seen them, and I was like, You know what? I really
You've
want to.
never seen them with us?
I've never seen
I've
them
probably seen them
live.
15 times. You never seen them with us?
Nope.
Really?
And I was like, and then I was like, let me check. $500 tickets. Like,
and like
it's
for them, I
insane.
signed up for 10 shows. Like you could list the shows you were willing to drive to. I put 10. I only got one night in Boston. And then when the time like I got into the queue, like, oh, you can actually get in the queue for this show. I couldn't get any tickets. I was like, this is crazy. I like who's going? How are they? I don't understand.
It's all bots buying these, and
But then who's going to the shows
people who are buying them on the secondary market
for that price? Who has that? Like, who can go see shows at
I don't know,
$300 or $400 a ticket? Like, what are the Oasis tickets going for? I heard they're hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
Joe saw some for 350 British pounds, which is like what, $600-700 here.
A ticket. That's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Now,
and these are venues. These are venues that hold 80,000 people.
Yeah, it's Wembley Stadium.
You know, it's not like
But how much of that are they getting? How much is Oasis getting? How much of that is they sold it for 200 and now it's being resold for the second time at that's my question.
Well,
I never understood that.
I think the Ticketmaster price was $350 a pop.
Oof. Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'd pay that to see them.
I
would love to see them.
If they come to the States, I will fly to New York to see them with you guys in the Garden.
Really?
100. Yeah, I will. I will fly to it.
350 so much for a ticket.
Yeah, dude.
I would probably go.
You would go.
Yeah, I probably would go.
You'd go. They would just play all their hits.
But see, here's the crazy thing, right? Like a week ago, I was just browsing around and it came up on my shows by you, and Hootie and the Blowfish came up. And I was like, I wonder when they're playing. The next day, Philadelphia, it was $20.
Yeah.
I bought them for. Wow. Do you know what the tickets ended up costing me?
No.
$42.
With the fees?
On fees.
I paid more on fees than I did for the ticket.
Yeah.
I could, like, still $42 is like, okay. Yeah, right. And I just bombed down to Philly and we saw them. And they were actually amazing.
Yeah.
Really good live.
We saw them live together. That was one of the best shows I've ever seen.
He still can absolutely sing.
Yeah. He's not an old man.
Yeah, but sometimes people who the hell opened up for them? Collective Soul, and
they're good still.
He can't sing anymore. So
really?
In the mix, he's turned so far down in the mix, you can't hear him anymore. And like Edmund McCain, remember Edmund McCain? He came out and sang songs with them, like at lead, because he just can't sing. He can't hang anymore. But Hootie the Blowfish did covers. They did they just did a fun show, and I'm like, for $20, that's great.
They play Wagon Wheel.
They did. They actually, the guitarist actually said at one point, he's like, I know a lot of you aren't here to see us. You really want to hear Darius Rucker sing country music. So then they do a set of like bluegrass country music.
Oh, that's cool.
They were fun. Yeah.
That's cool.
They were great. And I think like seeing Oasis live just to see them again, because they're probably never going to do this again. I can't imagine they're going to stay together. Like, do you think they're going to tour America? I don't. I think this is 8 or 10 shows and out.
If they make enough money, they will.
Do you think they could sell the way they're selling in the UK here? I don't know if they can sell out a giant.
I think people in the UK will come to New York.
All right, maybe.
I don't even think they'll attempt football stadiums. I think they'll sell out all of the
arenas.
The arenas.
They'll just do an arena tour.
Because people are having a tough time selling, right? I don't think Beyonce sold out her tour. I don't think Jennifer. Oh no, not Jennifer Lopez had to cancel her tour, right? And I think Shakira is only doing like 10 shows because she couldn't get enough of a fan support to be like, yeah, we'll do a 25 show run. Like, I don't think people are going because of the price.
Well, I think the prices are just too crazy.
Too crazy. Yeah. Like the only people who seem to be really selling like that is country music for some reason.
Noel came to Nashville last summer, and his prices were ridiculous. And I was like, I'm not paying $80 a ticket to see the high flying birds.
How much?
Like $80 a ticket
Wow.
for like the worst seats. And I'm like, I'm not paying that much to hear his. I am really not a big fan of the high flying birds. Like every song to me sounds the same.
Right.
Every song sounds the same to me. It's
I-
very
some of their
drony and
hits-
whiny.
Yeah, I mean, some of the hits I like, but like I'm not buying their album. So
Yeah, I tried like when I'm working and stuff, I'll put the albums on in my headphones, and I just end up going to something else.
Mm.
But to get back to this, so that was
any
your
favorite concert like on DVDs that you ever seen?
Yeah, so I like the 2000 Wembley Familiar to Millions tour.
Yeah,
and
that was a 2-disc DVD. I had that. That was
yeah,
really good.
I have it too. And this is one of these. So I wrote down like 5 videos that I watch frequently on Oasis, and this is the Wembley. This is the Wembley one that I like. I don't know how. There is a scene. I don't want to show it because we might. Well, it's a YouTube video, and the YouTube video
Look
has
at
it.
that crowd.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
Wembley.
Wild, dude.
Yeah, that's Wembley Stadium in the year 2000. The year 2000. But in the if you go, I'm telling everybody this now. Go to minute 46 and 7 seconds. Minute 46, 7 seconds, and you will see a lovely young lass.
Of course, that's what he found.
Of course.
I remember.
It's a 3-hour concert, but he remembers this specific second.
Listen. Well, I wrote it down. I had to look for it. But when I was in college,
it's the movie book. It's just times and movies.
That was on the anus. That was download number 75 on the anus.
Just a giant Google Doc. All the different. You don't even got to watch the first 9 minutes of that movie. Go to 9 minutes, 8 seconds. Keep moving. You should punch out at 10.
When I was in college, every Christmas break, I would change all the strings on the first day of Christmas break, I would change all the strings of my guitars. And I graduated in like 2004, I think. And I remember one year I came home, and it was the last, it was the first day of Christmas break. And I came home and I was like, I'm going to watch an Oasis concert, and I'm going to change all my strings on my 3 or 4 guitars at the time. And I remember, listening to it in the background, and I just typed in Oasis concert, and it was the first one that popped up. And then, Noel and Liam
46 minutes and 9 seconds, you just see the strings on his guitar snap like a cartoon. Boing.
Well, Noel and Liam start talking to the crowd, and it's like, come on, man, take him out for the lads. I'm gonna play a little bit of it, but I'm gonna pause it when the time comes, because I don't want it. It's on YouTube. You could see the boobies on YouTube. Which
you have
I think
the
is
internet.
Hey, keep it on your fucking credit cards. Can we have some press, please?
Can we have some press, please?
Put it up, let's have them out for the lads.
Well,
Mike,
I don't
the
think
answer is one episode before we get taken down.
I'm not going to show it. Then
Okay,
in the next couple of seconds, what are we at? We're at 46:01. In the next 6 seconds, you see 2 of
England's
the nicest.
best.
Yeah, 2 of England's best. And Noel says, "Wow, look at those fucking things." And all I know is I'm twisting the guitar string. It's like, bang, and it just like, like a cartoon, and it just breaks. And I'm looking up, and I had to go back. I had to rewind and pause it and
Get the loop.
And ever since then, it's been my favorite. It's been my favorite concert.
Put that in there.
Yeah.
No, but Noel's reaction is hilarious. I must
Noel's
say.
reaction is superb. He's like, oh, look at those fucking things, because they're fantastic. They're fantastic. They're real and they're fantastic.
Oh my god.
But yeah, so that for some reason that's been my favorite concert to watch.
I wonder why.
I Wonderwall ever since then. Yeah, so that's my favorite concert to watch. That's
Oh
probably
my
not the
God.
best concert. That's not the best live concert. Like the
It's
one
not.
at Nebworth. Is it
They
Nebworth?
actually they
That's a
have a
good one.
good cover of Hey Hey My on that show. On the Familiar to Millions concert, Steve.
My favorite deep cut song I first heard on that live concert,
I think I
which
know
is
what you're
called
gonna say.
Step Out.
Yes.
It's called Step Out. It's a Noel song. He sings the entire thing, and
It's a
I
cover, isn't
never
it?
heard it. No, I don't think so. I think
I
it's
think
just him.
Oh really?
Is it a cover?
I think
Oh.
it's a cover.
Huh. Then that I guess that wouldn't count as a deep cut then, right? It
Well-
was on an album.
Oh, okay. Was it? I could be wrong.
Let's see. I mean, we can look it up.
Yeah.
Oasis, Step Out. Oasis, Step Out, song by Oasis.
Okay, never mind then.
A new version. Anyway, I love. Oh wait, Step Out. No.
It's a good one.
It's an Oasis song.
Okay.
It's an Oasis song. Yeah, it's one of my favorite songs, and I only listen. I don't like the recorded version because there is a recorded version,
Okay.
and I don't like the recorded version as much as the live one at Wembley.
Yeah.
But that's my favorite deep cut. Do you guys have a favorite deep cut, or did you guys not do that? That was on-
Favorite deep cut. Let me see. Well, my favorite concert is There and Then at Main Road. Oasis are huge Manchester City fans, and this was in 1996. So they played at Main Road. That was the old Manchester City Stadium. So they're playing at their like something that they've grown up just dreaming of playing at. And it's a sold out concert at the club that they support. And
Mhm.
they come onto stage, and Noel plays in his Union Jack Epiphone guitar. They play a Swamp Song, and they just you see the whole crowd just losing their shit. Yeah, it's a great album. DVD. If you ever seen that, it's a good one.
Mike,
It's
do you
in
have
from-
one you watch?
I don't. Outside of Familiar to Millions, I don't know if I ever had any of the other ones.
Well, I watch
think
them
that was-
on YouTube. I don't necessarily have the
Oh.
DVDs of them. I have one Oasis DVD, and so I wrote down a whole bunch of videos that I watch on YouTube, and I must watch each one of these things probably between 15 and 20 times a year.
Mhm.
So there are times where I'll watch this one documentary on the making of Definitely Maybe.
Okay.
It's just called, if you just type in Oasis documentary, it's the first thing that pops up. Let's see if I can get a screenshot of it here. It's the second one down here where it's like darker. This one at the bottom. It's Oasis Definitely Maybe, the documentary full length. There are times where I will watch that every night for a week, from beginning to end. Yeah, it'll be my nighttime routine where the kids are put to bed. Nicole fell asleep on the couch. I go upstairs. I grab a guitar. I put that on, and I know every line of all of the documentary, and it's like the producers and the stage crew and the people at the recording studio and other bands that they would play with and record in the same studio with. The Stone Roses are on there. And I know every word of that, and I'll go for a week and just watch that video over and over. And I'll switch back and forth between that and the making of the Black Album by Metallica. But I have this on DVD, so it's definitely made. And I want to show you this. I just got this in the mail yesterday. This is the 30th anniversary edition.
Wow.
Very cool.
Of Definitely Maybe. It's a thick boy. It's I think it's 4 records. It includes the unreleased original Mono Valley versions, which was they had to record this album they had to redo it 3 times. And the original place that they did it was called Mono Valley. There are these two recording studios in England that are like on the same farm, but they're like 100 acres apart from one another, but they're on the same farmland. And one is called Mono Valley, and the other one, I forget the name of that one. But they started at Mono Valley, and then they re-recorded it at the other one on the other side of the farm, and that's the version we all know. But this has all a bunch of outtakes on it. It has commentary on it. Yeah, it's got 1, 2. There's 4 discs in here. I don't even want to open it. Like
I was going to say, I didn't think you played vinyl.
Oh yeah, I have a big vinyl collection now. Ever since I came down here, there's tons and tons.
You'll get the
of,
CD
like,
eventually.
stuff. The CD, yeah.
You'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
It's really going to change your world.
Yeah,
it's going to blow you. Wait till MP3s.
I have all of their re-released vinyls, like their anniversary editions. They actually have some pretty cool ones. The only one I don't have is Morning Glory. I missed that one.
Get Master Plan if you could find it on vinyl. Every song on that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's so hard, like for a deep cut for me. Like every song on like Master Plan is amazing. Stay Young. They use Stay Young in that movie, The Faculty. You ever see that movie?
Yep.
With young Frodo Baggins. What's his name? Elijah Wood. They use that movie song in that movie. Rocking Chair's great. Listen Up. Fade Away. Every single song on this album you'll love, Steve, if you've never heard them.
I have Be Here Now on vinyl, and I have, what's the one with it's the classroom. The cover's like a classroom.
That's the Master Plan.
That's the Master Plan. I have that on vinyl.
Oh, okay.
I have that on vinyl, and it's weird. It's like weird tie-dye records. Like it's the vinyl itself is like weird tie-dye.
Oh, really?
It's like blue and white and red.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
It's a really cool looking vinyl. Another video that I like to watch all the time is let me see if I can scroll down here. See if I can find it. These two right here. It says Be Here Now and Return to Rockfield. So the Be Here Now one. Oh, I'm sorry, not that one. Hold on. The Return to Rockfield one is definitely one. Let me talk about that one instead. So this one down here, Return to Rockfield. It is a short one. It's only 28 minutes and 19 seconds. And that's where they did What's a Story, Morning Glory. And Noel goes back there with the guy who runs it. Like I said, it's on a farm. So that's the other one, right? So Mono Valley was one of the recording studios on this farm, and Rockfield was the other one. And that's where they did Wonderwall and that whole album.
Is this the one they had to take a boat to, like a little house?
No, that was Definitely Maybe.
Oh, okay.
That was the one in Definitely Maybe. And then where's the other one? There's another one that goes along with that one. And it's called this one right here. This is a good one. It's What's a Story, Morning Glory, track by track with Noel Gallagher. It's another 25-minute video, and he goes track by track telling you little secrets about how they recorded the songs, what instruments they used to do the songs with, if there was anything special that they had to do. Did they go into a special room? Did they do the drums a different way? It's really inside baseball for music and for bands. And it's pretty cool. Like he actually, for Wonderwall, he sat on top of a 10-foot wall outside of the recording studio. And he's there and he's like, this is the wall because I wanted to sit on a wall because it's Wonderwall. Fucking stupid.
That's
and like
so weird.
You're right. He goes, I thought it would be cool to do it on a wall. And it's cool because you can hear birds chirping, and it's not added in. It was actual birds chirping around him while he was playing, and the mic just happened to pick up the birds.
Oh, wow.
Which is pretty neat. So those are two. Let's see. Anything else? And then I got this. This is my Oasis complete chord book.
Oh, wow.
That has it's got every song ever written and released by Oasis and all the chords, so I can play it on my guitar.
I didn't know you were this big in Oasis. I knew Seb was. I didn't know you were.
Oh yeah. And it's weird because like I don't know, like, but I met you guys in my formative years in college. Like
Yeah.
I met you guys late in my life. And the fact that and I've never met Oasis fans besides you guys. And it's so weird
Well,
that
Seb,
like,
I think Seb might have brought Oasis to our group.
okay.
Like I'm fairly certain I learned about them through you, Seb.
Yeah. I mean, I had an Oasis haircut and everything. I was like all in Oasis.
That's what he
when I was
calls
growing-
it, but we had a different name for it. That was his R-word haircut.
You know what? You know what album
Makes
really
total sense
You're
now.
really gonna step all over that one, Jesus.
sorry.
I love you, Mike. I'm crying. Oh my god.
Yeah. But no, yeah,
Ed.
I'm a really big Oasis
didn't
fan.
know that.
And
Wait.
I'm-
Did you have an Oasis haircut, or as Mike like? What'd
No,
you call it, Mike?
That's his R-word haircut.
I don't even want to tell you what haircut. I had a Ricky Martin haircut. I frosted my tips when I was 18.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
You
Oh
and
boy.
Joe.
The low battery
Really?
thing just came up on my MacBook here, so we got to get going.
All right.
We got to get
All
going here. But do you guys have that? That's
2
all I
hours.
have.
Plug it in.
I can't. I have no more inputs. I got a microphone and a camera plugged in, so I can't plug anything more in. So before this goes dead, do you guys have anything else to add?
No. We
No?
should definitely do this again.
Thank you. Yes. I got him to come back.
Next week, Top Gear.
Yeah, but done.
Yeah.
You heard it here, folks.
Yeah.
Next week.
Maybe
We're
we'll
gonna
have a
do Top
little
Gear.
Italian with us.
I hope so. I hope we have a little Italian with us. But until next
He's
week,
really adorable. He sits on phone books so you can see him.
he bites a little, but he's okay.
He's outgrowing.
Yeah.
He's outgrowing that now. He
He
was
is.
teething.
But thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week.